Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the workshop of the Board of County Commissioners. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first thing on our agenda today is a discussion for health, dental, vision, life, and Mr. Bugg. Miss Warren, come on down. Pull that speaker as close to your mouth as you can get it. As close to your mouth as you can get it.
How's that?
I like it.
All right.
Okay, take it away.
All right, so for this year, we will have to, our broker Jake did a lot of work for us and then got some initial bids. The initial bid from United Health was coming back at 16%. So he went out, got some other bids. They reevaluated, came back at 9%. We had a decline to quote by Aetna. And then we had Anthem Blue Cross came in basically at 0%. So no increase to the total cost for health insurance. Basically $1,000 difference out of 2.35 million. So it would require a change again. The pros and cons are the more we do move around, that's one of the reasons why sometimes we get a decline. But there's also some contingencies on getting any money back when we do have a good year. We had a really good year. I think we're running at about 59% funded. So we've only spent 59% of the money that we're collecting. So we have a really good cost this year compared to past years. One reason is we have an employee that actually has a high cost for medication and kind of took care of it on themselves. So that did help our plan out a little bit. But just overall, we've just had low costs this year. We're just had a good year. So one of the big differences between United and Anthem Blue Cross is the fact United has a way more contingencies on whether you're going to get any money back, where Anthem does not. So if you truly come in at a savings, especially on your small claims, because small claims are always costed separately against large claims, and you can still have a big claim year and a really good small claim year and still get some money back. They don't take the one from the other, but Anthem has a much better probability of getting money back also. So we think for the longevity, if we can stay there and we can have another year and have 2 good years, we really need 3 good years to really be, that's kind of the marker for most insurance companies to really start holding us at this 0% or even maybe have a decrease in the cost, because if you look at ours versus other places, our cost per individual per employee is a lot higher because we've had a lot of higher cost years. So our recommend is to go ahead and switch to Anthem and then have a 0 cost to the county for the health insurance. The dental, the vision, and the life are also 0. So they all came back at a 0% increase. The dental was in a 2-year plan anyways, that they locked us last year, so it was going to be 0 anyway. VSP came in at 0. Lincoln came in initially at 5, but he got them down to 0 also. So we're at the cost of the county this year would be a 0% increase across the board. Go ahead.
They pay pretty good? I mean,
Yes, actually, they actually pay better than United.
Okay. And this isn't get us in the door for one price, and then next year nails?
No. Negative.
Didn't we have Anthem?
We've had Anthem Blue Cross in the past. And I know, and we talking to everybody here, including the health department, they do have the best luck with getting payment out of Anthem over United and everybody else. And I was on Anthem Blue Cross for 10, 12 years prior to coming to work here, between working for the city of Farmington and being on New Mexico Retiree Health. They're both Anthem Blue Cross, and there was no problems within the whole area of coverage.
Why? I guess my question is, why did we leave them?
I wasn't here then. I don't know.
Had to have been the cost.
I'm sure, and And we've
I think it was
had,
a percentage of cost.
huh?
I think it was a percentage increase in
Yeah.
the cost.
And we've had some pretty weird years and some, evolution of different problems, I think, too. And so, it's really the goal would be is to try and stay where we're at, obviously, but we're also trying to look at something that's a little more stable for us on the backside, too, of that. If we do put the things in place to help hold our costs down, and we're going to have the possibility of getting some return on this, then we definitely have a better opportunity with Anthem. So that's a better business model also.
What did the employee council have to say?
Employee council was good with it. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I mean, when you're only getting 2 quotes. I mean, and some of the other options, whether you're going with partially self-funded or going with gap insurance, those are some possible conversations in the near future if we can stay down. But some of those options, like last year when we came out of a really high year, or 2 years in a row that are high, the bid differential was 1.5 million, and that dropped to 200,000 this year. So just having this year being better and some other things on our favor, we already had a 1.3 million drop in the cost of them going to something like that even. So it's still more expensive than what we're doing now, but like I said, that's the whole goal, is to try and stay on something that we can try and hold our costs down with and maybe get some return in. It may open some other doors for some discussion in next few years of really, what's going to be the best way for us to do our insurance. But we're getting closer, right? It's like having 6 wrecks and finally getting them off your record so you can go, get better quotes. So. You want to put the cost one up? Not that one though. The actual employee. It's like the other. It's a PDF. It has all the costs of what we're paying.
The Lincoln Life?
No, it should be like employee insurance costs maybe. That one.
Can you blow it up at all, Travis? There you go.
So basically the coverage is identical for vision, dental, and life. The actual coverage in each one of the 3 plans is identical. Nothing's changing on the actual embedded coverage. It's just the name of the plan, obviously, because it's no longer an Anthem plan. It's an Army United plan. It's an Anthem plan, and then those are the costs. So the costs stay exactly the same for the county across the board, with the exception of the HSA, but the HSA is also adjusted. So that way it's still no difference in cost as far as it comes back to the county. So.
I don't have a problem with Blue Cross and Blue Shield at all. What I struggle with is, I know we had them here at one time and we dropped them, obviously, I'm going to assume because we saved costs going someplace else. But it seems like we move every year, and that seems like it's a struggle for a lot of the employees.
It is to a point, it is, but it's the,
Because you're changing
right,
whatever you're using.
right,
But you said the employee council was good, who represents the entire county
correct,
in their different departments.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody, it's not just the fact that it's a change. It's just we as the group too are also trying to look at this over the long term of, we definitely still want to do some things with the health and wellness. And we really didn't get a whole lot going this year, so my office can't take any credit for the change and drop. I mean, that was just something that happened, knock on wood, right? But if we just know from understanding everything about how all the insurance works with the companies, that if we do get this going, we probably have the best long-term business model if we can stay with this. And for some reason, we don't know what any insurance company's ever going to do, but I think if these guys had like a 5 or 6% increase next year and United was 0, I think we definitely would then have to look and say, hey, we probably need to eat the 5%. It's just the whole way it all works. It's just, without getting way into the weeds, would be the fact that this is probably the better business model in the long term to try and stay something stable and give us, reward us for the work that we're doing.
Sure, why didn't they bid it last year?
I didn't go back to
Why
last
didn't
year's, and I
'cause
think they may
here
have.
Again, no, because he said I think he said 33.
They might have been a no- they might have
there
been a
were
no bid
three-
because of
there
how
were only
high
three
our-
that bid it.
I think that's what
I
it
think
was.
that's what it was.
I think they were a
they
no
were the
bid.
no bid because of how our claims were.
Because we were so high last year.
Yeah, because we were way high.
Okay,
Yep.
good enough. Commissioner, you got anything? Okay. All right,
Good.
yep.
Okay.
I mean, my biggest thing is the employee council know that.
No,
we-
I mean,
if we
yeah,
approve this, we are
it's.
switching again, and
I know.
people that, I think the biggest complaint we got were because of all the medications. I
Yeah,
think
and the
that was
problem with it
biggest
is
complaint,
though
but
too,
it's
and
gonna
I'm
happen again.
just for on the record too is, and I didn't know this until I started doing this job, is that how easily and how fast that medication list changes. It
Oh,
basically changes weekly.
sure.
That even because I even went to the trouble of trying to put out that list of what was available so everybody could kind of pre-figure out where they were going to be at. But then our broker's like, we know that list changes weekly, if not every month. And so they may have had a medication on there for 20 years and just decide to pull it. So that is the problem with any insurance company, which is another discussion possibly for later about being partially self-funded and working with, like, say, the pharmacy at the hospital, where we have much more control over things. There's, that's what we're working towards, is those options to be able to do some of those things. And so, but that's trying to create that business model on the backside to try and get us there is what we're working on. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, next, you are up again with the iSolve hiring module to add to iSolve.
Correct.
Okay,
So initially, we weren't going to put this on the initial push out with iSolve, but then when we did the out looking for the road and bridge superintendent, and we started using online services to try and post, and the cost of that during part of the implementation meetings with iSolved, we spent over $2,000 just to do the one run to try and get it out to do the road and bridge superintendent just for one position. So we're going to go out again, and so we're going to spend would spend at least that much again. So this software actually allows all applications to be done inside the iSolved. It is split out by division, so every division would be department head or elected official would be able to see all their own applicants, track them, keep them, tag them for other positions if they felt that they were better suited for another job but weren't suited for that job. Once somebody decides they want to hire that person, I just move them into onboarding automatically. The biggest part of it is when we're posting, we have access to 50 work boards like Indeed for free. And we would be able to use them for every application that if we chose to do so. And there's over 6,000 work boards out there that we have the option to help pay on. So that is one of the problems that we had this time, is even working with Indeed. And the iSolve does work with you to customize what you're posting to try and draw in exactly what you're looking for. Sometimes you may be using a job description, sometimes you might be using a job posting, because the description may not be written in a manner that will get you what you want, which is kind of, I think, what we had this time. We had a lot of very qualified people to do a lot of concrete and vertical work, but for whatever reason, nobody applied that had, that background. I mean, I had 40 to 50 applications. There was just nobody that was doing that type of work. So in the overall picture, what we're going to spend if we were trying to outsource anyways, we're going to spend about this much annually to outsource on work boards anyway. So, and we get all the other functionality with it. So this was something that we were going to try and bring in later because we didn't want to just put too much in place at one time. But once we really got to see it, it actually, especially since we have to repost for superintendent job, figured it would probably be a better way, get it implemented now, have them help us get that out again, use all the work boards that we need to try and get the coverage that we want, and then just use it from now on for all of our positions.
So this would work for even attorneys?
Anything in the world,
Anything in county government?
anything.
Is he trying to tell you something?
No, I'm just, we had a,
Freudian slip.
we had a hard time. I mean, we searched for, what,
Yes.
basically a year?
Yeah, there's over 6,000
I mean,
work
it's-
boards that are
it's-
specific to any job type.
I guess the broader the cast,
Correct.
Yeah.
the net is gonna catch more fish.
Absolutely.
when we bring it
And
in.
more specific.
Yeah,
Because even, I mean, we had nine specific things that we were trying to get people to, and if you don't know how this really works, it's all AI driven that, and you can choose to whether
Right.
you select to post or you let the system automatically drop your resume to that job, right?
Yeah.
And so we had 9 things that they needed to hit, and all but like one was 7 out of 9, and the 2 that they were missing were the 2 we were looking for the most. And so ironically, I don't know if there's just nobody out there, I mean, maybe those jobs are just secure compared to other work, like concrete work and vertical work. But yeah, I mean, it's just, and they will actually help you. This is what they do. They have a specific section of people within that company that do nothing but this. And so they will help you build and work with you to see what you're getting in and tweak it for you as you go to ensure that you're getting as many of those specific applicants.
I mean, I look at this $7,000 and it's, I mean, if we have 1 or 2 positions that we're trying to manage.
You're out the
we're
same
gonna
amount of
spend
money.
that much money.
Plus what it
Anyway.
does for in the HR side, and I knew it had a lot of other functionality that would be nice to have down the road, because it even is once they fill out their application online, if we onboard them, it pulls all their information out of their application, preloads it in it for them, so even when they go fill in to onboard, their name, address, all that information is already preloaded in the system for them. They don't even have to put it in again.
So is this I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna answer my own question here, but this is a fee that's just it's a reoccurring fee.
Correct.
But does it increase every year, every other year?
No.
Do we know that?
No, actually, the first year is just slightly higher, because
Because of the
there's always the
implementation
initial,
fee?
right?
Yep.
Yep. So it's 74.67, and then the ongoing is 69.67, because there's a few setup fees to add some to make this thing run,
Right.
Yep.
Um,
and that would be on top of our original fee.
Yeah, correct. This is just an added module to the.
Correct.
To the.
And they have a
iSolved.
ton. I mean, this thing will do pretty much anything you want it to do. It's just there's some things that we're not interested in doing. We just thought that we would try and not complicate this thing too much on the front side, but then once we really got to see, as we're getting the training and seeing what it can and can't do, and the fact of how much money we spent just to go out and try and source one position, and how much we get 50 boards. So Indeed, all the ones you see all the time on TV, the ones that are pretty much the norm, LinkedIn even, those are all free up to a certain point. We can post on them all day long and not even get charged. It's when we go to some of the other ones, and if we were to get like a really complicated scenario, there might be a small fee, but even at that, they said it's no more than using about 20% of what the fee would be to do it on your own. So it'd only be like $300 or $400 additional dollars to get the same level if you were to go out and do it on your own, right? Which we don't even need to do that, doesn't sound like, almost ever. It would be some maybe specific, like for maybe a doctor or a physician or something, I don't know. But most of ours, instead of just being on the website and being on Facebook, we could actually hit all these work boards and see who's using them.
Okay.
So,
And the other thing that I thought was nice is when you like hire somebody and say they quit or they don't work out, you can go back into the other applicants and just reopen them and choose your next choice.
right.
So they are always there.
And they're split out by division. So once we get all the department head and elected officials set up, then when we post that out for that division, then they get them back themselves. They can see them coming in. They can weed through them. And then this even has the ability. So say like when we did like a department head where we know we're going to probably get more people from out of state possibly, you can even do a pre-loaded first level interview where you could come up with like 1 to 4 questions, kick it to them and make them answer them on video, and do a little pre-interview kind of, so to speak, get those back, look through those, and then filter down even from that before you even go through the full interview process. So it has a lot of functionality. Plus, everything's done through Teams, which is what we're using. So it platforms in with everything else that we're already doing.
Okay, questions? Any more questions?
How difficult is it for somebody locally to get into this system?
It won't be because it'll just tie into our website. So it's just going to be a medium where you will go. It's going to be a link.
Okay,
And so it's not going to be any more, it's actually going to be easier now, because what you do now is you have to print it off.
Right.
And either email it, like sign it, email it or whatever. This way it'll all just be done online.
okay.
So it'll actually be easier in the end run for the user. And it'll allow them to upload any documents also. So resume or whatever they want to upload.
Okay. All right, moving on.
Here
Number
comes the
3.
tough one.
Huh?
Here comes the tough one.
Oh, I figured this would be the biggest pain in the butt out of all 3, but. So this is the holiday schedule proposed. Pretty much the same as last year, right? Miranda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The only difference is the January 1st, because that it does, where it does fall, if we actually put it in on the, because the office being closed, if we put it in on the day when it actually would probably fall, right, it's actually going to create 11 holidays for 2025, and 2026 would be 9. So to keep it at 10 and 10, so because, and I have a calendar, should have probably put a calendar in there. Because January 1st is a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And so we're closed on Friday, so, hang on, let me make sure we got this. So I don't screw it up. Well, this is 26 going into 27, I apologize, that's why. So since the holiday is on a Friday and we're closed on Friday, if we back it up, it'll actually be in the previous year, so we're just asking to push it to the Monday. Because otherwise you'll have 11 holidays in one fiscal year and 9 in the other. That makes sense?
So because I'm not totally up to speed, so for,
So normally
into-
when it's a holiday on a Friday, we just back it up to the Thursday,
yeah,
right?
Most offices are closed on that Friday.
Right. And so otherwise, that always creates the issue. So if we were to do that, which is what we're trying to stay with the exact same way that we do all of our holidays all the time, so that we're not changing, right?
yeah,
And so in this one case, though, it would be that if we did that, the actual holiday would be technically in FY '26. And so there would be 11 holidays in '26 and 9 holidays in '27. So if we push it to Monday, then it makes it 10 and 10.
I'll defer to the commissioners. I have one other random thing that comes up with the holidays.
Okay.
I don't know if it just affects my office, but we recognize Indigenous Peoples Day, and the state and the courts recognize Cabrini Day, which is the first Monday in October, I think. And so it's been
Recognize
different.
What?
Cabrini Day. It's a holiday in remembrance of Francis Cabrini. It was created by Governor Polis in 2020. And so practically, I just had like hearings and stuff like that with the court. And I don't know if that's just my problem. Like, do the schools here get off for Indigenous Peoples Day or Cabrini Day?
I think they get Indigenous Day, but I don't think they get Capri.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a conflict for my office, in which case it's fine.
I think
but-
most just state offices do that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's just been the issue that we've run into is just having
I'll defer that to them.
the courts.
You know, the state
I was just asking about it,
No,
just
we're not gonna go down that
clarifying the
road.
situation.
We went down that road before, and
Yeah,
it
no.
seems like it's a hazard all the time. We're always, the state wants to make new days off, but the state's not funding to pay for new days off.
Yeah.
So we're just
And the
sticking.
last time that
yeah.
it was given to me, it's
So I think,
$78,000
yeah, these
per
are the,
day.
yeah, and it is that,
Like,
because that is the one federal holiday I think that we don't follow, right? Is Indigenous Day, Columbus Day, whatever.
Juneteenth,
Huh?
Juneteenth.
To me, this looks just fine.
Okay.
Man, you're easy. You're getting easy in your old age.
It looks, I mean, rather than go down all those little roads that in the weeds we throw into this, just,
But that's the whole reason. That's the only kind of hiccup that created. And we tried to stick with the same philosophically run it the same way every year.
Yeah.
But then that was going to create that one problem. So that's why we're asking to push it where it's at.
So you still have 10, 1, 2. Scroll down, Travis. Okay. Questions? We can vote tomorrow.
Yeah.
we probably.
I'll be back tomorrow.
We
So
probably need a day off in between this, to figure this out.
Nah, it's all good. Okay.
good.
That's it.
All right. That's all I got.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Mr. Dietrich, come on down. They already consumed half of my afternoon, so you're restricted to 2 minutes.
Ouch.
Short here.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
guys.
So I've got two things here to discuss today. So the High Desert Conservation District approached me a couple weeks ago asking if they could take over the CDA cost share program. That would be the Colorado Division of Agriculture cost share portion of the cost share program that we administer. So right now we've got about $15,000 that we have budgeted for the cost share program. I guess my proposal would be to give them a chance at that, and what I would propose is giving them $10,000 to run with the cost share program through CDA, and it would be completely administered by the High Desert Conservation District. And so I've got an intergovernmental agreement that's been prepared, draft on that, to make that actually happen. We feel like that's a good thing to pursue.
Hey, James,
The other
have they-
corollary that goes
James,
along.
have they looked at that yet? Because we drafted that up for it to be on the agenda next week.
No, they have not looked at that yet.
Yeah, before we say too much, let them look at it
Yeah,
too.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm just talking about this conceptually at this point. And then, so that leaves us with $5,000 left over that I would propose that we pursue the Colorado Colorado Division of Wildlife, HPP, funding for that portion of it. So we can keep part of the cost share program going ourselves, but also let High Desert Conservation District in on some of that action, so.
So, as far as benefiting the community, you think this will benefit the community better?
Well, it's hard
Or-
to say. I think they've got a lot of opportunity with it. They can do things like provide dollars for the seeding and things like that we don't. So they've got some other tools that they can use. We're trying to make this kind of pair up with the backpack program because we've given them all the old backpacks. So this is a way to kind of get them moving in on the game. I think there is potential really for advancing this within the community. We've got two different organizations that are trying to get dollars out there on the ground for the weed control. And again, we're still, if we pursue the HPP funding and are successful with that, then we've got basically a $10,000 budget that we can continue to operate our program too. So it's kind of a dual track. As long as we coordinate good together, I think the whole thing should work pretty well.
So the $10,000 would be gifting to them is what we put into it anyway, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct, yeah.
So,
And we're still holding a little in reserve. I'm sorry, Ken. Holding a little in reserve so that we can pursue our own angle on this too through HPP.
how do we track application rates and what's being put out there?
So
Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, we do track the applications and we map each one of those. So
Okay.
we have the landowner, the species of plant, we've got where it's at, so I map all that out. One of the difficult things with CDA this year is they were requiring photographs. And so getting a before and after photograph is going to be a little bit hard for us to do. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's pretty hard to get people to just even circle the species of weed that they're planning to treat from a list that are on the application.
Yeah.
So I think the photos are going to be, that's going to take some prompting. I'll have to go back around and probably go out there and visit each individual and get photos. Some of them will play ball with you. Some will provide photos. I think the others would be more difficult. The advantage is with the HPP program, we don't have to do all that photographic evidence.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So I guess the question today is, do we want to pursue the grant for the HPP program? And if so, I guess we'll have to get that, the wheels of motion on that for tomorrow. I do have to make a presentation tomorrow night at the CPW meeting for that particular grant. And I think we've got time on this. If it's too soon to do it, then that's fine. We'll just take it in next month. But I wanted to kind of get this in front of the commissioners as soon as possible.
I don't think it's too soon.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
mean, I think
Okay.
it's pretty easy. The money's going to get spent
Yeah.
on weeds, and if it's taking care of noxious weeds, part of what we want to control anyway.
Yeah. I think one other, potential benefit to using the HPP program is that they had to give money back, I think, last year is what they said. So they didn't get as much money this year for our portion of the county. So if we can stay engaged in this and kind of keep more dollars in our county for tackling noxious weeds, that's probably a plus also.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, James.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it.
Actually, I have one other question for you. As far as the Montezuma County Coalition, this came up in our meeting this morning. The dates are open for comments as far as and I think you referred to this a couple weeks ago. What did she ask?
So this
Of
is,
the-
Public
Of
lands.
the public lands
Transportation. Isn't there a meeting in Dove Creek?
comments?
so there will be some public meetings coming up. That's for the Mona Dolores Coalition.
Yeah.
And that has to do with the outdoor recreation
Mhm.
plan,
Yeah.
correct? Yes, and so that plan, that strategy has been put together. And so over the next month or so, we'll be taking that out to several communities. One I think will start in Dove Creek, if I recall right. I think it'll be a total of 6 meetings spread out throughout the county.
Okay, so I think the question that was asked was there anything significant that would affect us in Montezuma County as to what we kind of vision that we have right now?
You know, I'm not seeing anything in there right now that's going to be, kind of a real hurdle for the county. I do think that once we start getting into some of the mapping, that shows where wildlife habitat overlays, some of our area within the county, there's going to be a push from that group probably to start looking at conservation easements and things like that for those particular areas. So yeah, I think eventually you can start seeing some difficulties with that, for sure. Right now, they're focused really on the public lands. So until we start seeing some movement out on private land, saying, hey, this is a elk production area, we got to have protection for it. I think we're okay up to that point. But of course, the rub always comes with the private lands, and of course, they'll be pursuing conservation easements for that, and those they're voluntary. So. It's something we've already, we're accustomed to those. So, but we may see an uptick in pressure in certain areas, is kind of what I anticipate. There is a corollary to this, though. The Forest Service is looking to implement that travel management plan for the Cortez-Mancos area. We have been working on this, and this is really through the Dolores Watershed Group is where this is is coming through. And so they will be taking another closer look at that, trying to implement the rest of that plan. So there's probably going to be some of the routes, especially user-created routes, that are going to be probably closed down. And I haven't heard any, any scuttlebutt about this out in the general public as of yet. But once they go to start closing some of those trails, we'll probably start hearing something about it.
Okay. That was the question.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be this year, probably.
Okay. Thank you, James. All right. Treasurer, Miss Black, come on down.
Hi there.
Howdy, howdy.
Sorry I wasn't here last week, so nothing
Turn your
exciting.
turn your mic on.
I like that off better. Is that good?
But the people on TV can't hear you.
They can't what? Oh, that's
can't
okay.
hear you.
They don't need to hear me. Not too much happening in our office except trying to get the online payment system back up to start the year. We're still struggling with that. Hopefully that'll be in place by then. And we did just complete the tax sale.
Yeah. How did your sale go?
Not as good as last year.
Wow.
Our premiums were way down, actually, quite a bit. Like, before I took office, that was something, once we went online, they went pretty high, but I know that whole Supreme Court decision that changed the treasurer's deed process, that's probably why more investors are not interested, even though the interest rate's still really good. The process, once you get at the end of holding your tax lien for 3 years, is considerably different. It really hasn't changed that much, but you have to have another auction. I know I've kind of talked about it before, but
Yeah.
it's kind of confusing. But at the end of the 3 years, you used to just be able to apply for the treasurer's deed, and that was your deal, if they didn't redeem. Now you have to go through the application process, and actually we have to schedule another auction, and people can come in from wherever and bid against you. You would get your money back.
So you're not. You still get your money back no matter what.
Right, you still
but
get
you
your
may
money
not
back
be
with interest, but
assured your.
yes. So if
piece
your
of
goal
property.
is to, which, sometimes that is the goal, to actually get that.
I
then
thought the goal was just to make 12% on your money
How
guaranteed.
about 15?
Oh, it's 15 now.
14, yeah, it was 15. So, I don't know.
Guess what?
It's-
I will be at your tax sale when I'm not sitting here.
Okay.
Cost you $500 for that auction.
That's okay. I can do that.
Isn't that what the cost is?
What's
How
that?
much does the auction
Online?
cost?
They do charge, so if you're gonna bid at the very end, there's like a $300 fee. But just to bid and get the liens, no, there's no charge for that.
It's just
But-
at the end.
Right, just
Yeah,
at the end
so-
that you pay that.
Like,
So, but the premiums are usually higher now than they used to be because we have some bigger investors that came in from, who knows where they're from actually, New York. So, but they're pretty good about putting
I-
a cap on their premium too.
yeah,
But we just didn't have as many big investors this year
That's
as
still-
we usually do.
super good interest.
I know.
I mean,
It
my
still
heavens.
is. So Montezuma County ended up with a lot of the mineral ones that didn't sell. We actually spread the auction over 2 days, which we've never done, but it did help to kind of get the rest of those gone. The other thing we do is we ask people to prepay, because I don't like to wait for their money once it's happened, because then if they don't decide to send it, then it's just a mess. Since we don't have the ability in Cortez to wire funds in super quickly, usually takes a day or two to get funds. This works better to have the money ahead of time, but it also limits people. So, because they kind of have to know ahead of time, am I going to spend 50,000? Am I going to spend 200? They have to know what they're going to, and not go over that. So,
Right. Yeah, they can buy several properties or whatever
Right.
minerals.
right,
Okay.
and then
Well, that's actually still pretty good investment.
it is. It's still good.
15%.
We have
Even
some
if you don't end up with,
long-term investors that, they don't always care about getting the
right.
deed at the end.
They just
So,
want the
yeah, they
percentage.
just want their
'cause it's
interest
guaranteed.
and move on. And if you buy enough of them, then, you know, that helps spread that out. So it's only really complicated when you're dealing with a specific property that somebody is trying to get title to, then, you know, you may end up having an auction at the end that happens, but it really hasn't changed for our office. We just have a little different process and a little more money at the end. So I guess that's good or bad. So that's been happening, and then foreclosures have ticked up some, but that kind of happens usually at the end of the year. We're gonna see,
That's pretty typical.
yeah,
Is
it
it
is.
a lot higher, a lot lower? I think they're usually pretty static.
Yeah, pretty much. Every now and then you'll get, like, after the 2008 crash, the 2009 foreclosures just went through the roof. So hopefully we don't see that kind of thing again. Nobody wants to see that. But otherwise, we're doing good, just keeping things
Okay.
even.
All
That's
right,
how I like it. Boring.
very good.
No excited, happy customers or unhappy. Anyway,
All right. Thank you, Ellen.
all right, thank you.
All right. Come on down, Kim. You're on that side of the desk today.
I'm not sure which one's worse, to be honest. When I'm up there, I don't have to talk very much. So basically, we have, I've talked to you guys about this before. This is a grant application for some updated stuff for our recording department. This is going to update a couple different areas in the recording department. It's going to offer more opportunities for the public to access the documents for a shorter amount of time. Currently, our subscriptions are by the month. This will set up subscriptions where you can look at it for an hour, a day, a week, whatever you want to look at. It's also going to be setting up property fraud alerts so that people can sign up for this, and if there's any kind of documentation recorded on your property, then it's going to send out an alert. It's going to give us an opportunity to offer certified copies online, so people don't actually have to come into the office to get a certified copy. And it's also going to help us streamline our marriage license applications. So the grant funds at this time are going to cover everything. There will be about a, $1,835 fee yearly, but we can pay that out of our tech fund. We usually earn about $4,500 a year in our tech fund. So we should be able to pay for that, out of that. It's pretty, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
all good.
I don't have any questions.
No,
Not on
sounds
that.
good to me.
I do have a
I knew
question,
this
though.
would be easy. What's that?
I do have a question.
Okay.
And I answered it this morning, but again, it was a question that specifically pertains to your department. But the question was, with the municipalities going to their own elections, were they able to still use the drop boxes? And I said, it's really a question for Kim, but I would probably say so. Somebody would have to be picking it up, though. So if it was incorrect, I'll let you correct it now.
No, as a matter of fact, I've already offered those drop boxes to the municipalities to use during their elections. We will not be using them at that time.
Yeah.
We will be getting ready for caucuses and assemblies and that sort of thing, but our next election won't be till June. So that's when we'll need those drop boxes. And
So-
I've also offered to keep their security cameras active at that time so that I can download their footage if they're required to keep that. So that is something that I offered the
We did answer
municipality.
it correctly.
Yep. You guys
Those were
did good.
just questions that were coming up today in our coffee with the county.
Yep.
So there you go, people. Hopefully you all heard it. Thanks. Any questions for
Thank you,
Kim?
Kim.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Kim. Sylvan Cemetery, I guess, do we just have one, Travis? The one?
We just have the one, we put it out, no interest other than this one.
Okay.
Short and sweet, simple.
It's easy.
Okay. Very good. Last but not least, come on down, Justin. We have 2 bids to look at, which are not even close.
No. So, yeah, there in front of you are the 2 bids that we did receive, the 2 sealed bids that we opened last Wednesday. Crossfire Aggregate Services in the total of $436,407.35, and then Planet Excavation in the amount of $199,856.46. I don't know that I can really answer why the difference. I can tell you that we did do a walkthrough. Both of the bidders were present at our walkthrough. I believe both of them understood the full scope of the project. They both had access to the engineered plans that we put with the packets, so they understood the details for the specs that the engineer provided for us. And this is kind of what we got back, so.
Do you have there, and you may not have it here, we can look at it later. I'm just curious, on the bid tabs, what was so far off on the bid tabs?
So
Because we
they are.
quantified it.
Yep, they should be right there. And it's almost just across the board looking at each one. It's almost just like a percentage higher on almost every, what that percentage is, I don't know. I didn't really calculate that out. But just looking between the 2 of them, almost every single line item is
Okay.
pretty much that, kind of.
Have we ever worked with, I've never heard of Planet.
I don't know that the county has worked with either the 2 that I'm aware of. Planet Excavation's out of Durango. Crossfire is out of Ignacio. So.
And did we put a bid bond on this project or not?
Well, they will both supply if needed. So they did both give me
And that's a big spread.
paperwork stating that they would have bid bonds if necessary. So
I'm sorry.
they did give me paperwork saying that they can supply that if necessary for bid bonds.
They give you any references?
I did not get any references. I did look both of them up online just to kind of, see some of their past projects. They got a little bit online on their websites. It doesn't seem like Planet Excavation's been around a long, long time, but from their online stuff, they are showing projects that they've done that are relatively decent size.
We've got a little bit of time before we make this decision anyway, because you weren't going to start this, or were you going to try to start some of it?
So that just kind of depends on their schedule. I told them I could work with them through the winter on the west side of the building if they wanted to try to start on that. So there is the possibility, if we did award a bid, we can maybe get a little bit of demo started on that west side. The north side would, we definitely need to wait until spring, mainly just because of the the asphalt part of it. But
Well, there depends on the weather, but there's stuff
yeah, I
they
get through
could
some of
do
my
if they
events
wanted
too
to,
that
so.
are scheduled. But
Okay, I'll look at the bid tab with you after the meeting and kind of identify, but yeah, I'm like Commissioner Lindsay, when you have,
That big a spread.
that's 100%, over 100%.
Yeah, it is a big spread,
So-
and I didn't know if that was just kind of sourcing, concrete and asphalt between the 2 of them, but when I was kind of looking down the whole line items, each line item by line item, they are pretty much a percentage difference between the 2, so
Okay.
kind of consistently.
All right.
So. And that's all I got. I mean, obviously my recommended would be the yellowed line, because it's way cheaper, but that's all I got for you.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
You bet.
I guess we have come to the end of our workshop, so we are adjourned. Thank you all.